Hello there. Welcome to the channel. My name is James, and here at 20th and 21st Movies, we're about all things cinema. And this month of October is 31 Days of Horror, and I am excited about it. Spooky season is here. We are getting October started, and I thought it would be fitting to kick off the month of October, this 31 Days of Horror, by sharing with you the first of my series of sharing my horror movie collection. So the horror movie titles I have in my collection, I'm going to share with you in a 2 or 3 part series this month, starting with this video here, where I will share with you my contemporary horror titles in my collection. I define contemporary as films that came out in the 21st century. So films that came out in the year 2001 to current day. So that's what I consider contemporary horror movies. These are the newer horror movies. So that's what I'll share with you that I have in my collection. I have Blu-rays and 4Ks stacked over here. Don't have the biggest collection in the world, I'll be the first to tell you, but I have a respectable horror movie collection. I'll share with you what I have. And I'm looking forward to hearing from you what you think about these titles and what some of your horror favorites are. So I'm going to go in chronological order with these films. I cannot wait to share with you my contemporary horror films. So without any further ado, on the other side of this, we're going to get into it. So let's go. All right, let's go into these contemporary horror movie titles. So these are in order of release, or at least reasonable order of release. And I'm going to click this menu here to make sure this stays up. This doesn't stay on very long. So I wish they had a longer timer on these menus. But anyway, this is one of the films that I'll share, spoiling Us, the second Jordan Peele horror title to come out. Really good film. I really enjoyed it. Nice follow-up to Get Out, but I'll get to that in just a second. Let's start off with this film here, The Conjuring, based on the true case files of the Warrens. I had this on Blu-ray. I've never upgraded this to 4K, and I don't really have a desire to. I'm perfectly fine keeping this title on Blu-ray, at least for now. But this is The Conjuring. Really good movie. Really, really good movie. It stars Vera Farmiga and Patrick, I think his name is Patrick Wilson. So they do a nice job playing the Warrens. Really enjoyed that film. I have not seen Warm Bodies. I've seen most of the films that I'm going to show you, but there are a few that I have not seen, and this is one of those that I haven't seen yet. Got a good deal on 4K of this film. It says Cold Body, Warm Heart. Okay. And on the back it says the greatest zombie love story ever told. This is Kevin Steincross from Fox TV. So I need to check this out and see, is Kevin telling the truth or just blowing smoke? Let me know in the comments section what you think about Warm Bodies. This is a decent remake of the 1976 classic, but it doesn't come anywhere near the heights of the original Brian De Palma film, but it's respectable. Carrie, this is the modern remake starring Chloe Grace Moretz in the title character, and Julianne Moore. So it's a pretty decent remake. I don't think it's a necessary remake, but I think they did a pretty decent job, and I would recommend it, especially if you're a fan of the original Carrie movie. So check out the modern Carrie movie. World War Z, the zombie film starring Brad Pitt. Really good movie. Enjoyed it. Recently got a 4K upgrade, but I'm fine to stick with this edition that I have. I have it on Blu-ray 3D, on standard Blu-ray, and DVD and digital copy. So a nice package there. This next film I didn't care for very much. It does star Scarlett Johansson, which I love her in most films that she's in, but didn't really love this film here, Under the Skin. This film just did not do it for me, to be honest with you. It's just not my cup of tea. It says lovely, lethal, and out of this world. She plays like this alien. I just did not care for this movie at all. But let me know what you think about this film in the comment section. This is one of those films that falls in the category of one-time watch and I'm done. So this is a one and done for me, but let me know what you think about Under the Skin in the comment section. It just kind of got under my skin. I didn't really dig it. So let me know what you think. I am a fan of the Purge movies. The Purge Anarchy is one of those films. Really enjoyed this one. This stars Frank Grillo. And it's a really good film. Really enjoyed this film. I have all of the Purge movies with the exception of the first one, which I didn't really care for at all. Did not like that movie, but I like the Purge sequels more than the Purge original by far. This film got a recent 4K upgrade from Second Sight, a fantastic set, and I'm super jealous of everyone who pre-ordered that. I should have pre-ordered it myself. I did not, but I do have a Blu-ray of It Follows. This stars Micah Monroe. This is one of the best horror films that come out in the 21st century. This is one of the top, probably 2 or 3 horror movies to come out this century, in my opinion. It is so good. Love this movie. Love it. Guillermo del Toro, this gothic horror starring Loki, Tom Hiddleston, in this wonderful film, Crimson Peak. Nice film. The Conjuring 2 is a pretty good sequel. Enjoyed that film. It's pretty good. See, the menu just went out on me. See that? I have to keep clicking it in order to keep it going. Come on now. Stick with us, us. Stick with us. Stick with us, us. The Purge Election Year. Another Purge movie. Perfectly fine. The Purge movies aren't great, but they're just enjoyable, mindless entertainment. I enjoy them. They're a guilty pleasure of mine. 10 Cloverfield Lane, decent movie. This is a pretty solid, decent movie. Monsters come in many forms. 10 Cloverfield Lane, pretty good film. Really enjoyed this movie, Don't Breathe, starring Stephen Lang. It has a sequel that I have not picked up yet, but I had this on Blu-ray. I have not upgraded to 4K and fine to keep my Blu-ray of that. The sequel, the long-awaited sequel to Unbreakable from M. Night Shyamalan, Split, starring James McAvoy. He does a really good job with the character in this movie. I really enjoyed this film, and it really built anticipation for the follow-up to it that came out recently in the last few years, starring Bruce Willis, that I'll get to shortly. I have Us up here on the menu. This is the follow-up to this amazing film, one of the best films. This might be the best horror movie of the 21st century. Get Out. What I'm holding up here right now, this might be the best horror movie of the 21st century. Let me know what y'all think of this film in the comment section. This was a revelation. This movie was just spectacular, starring Daniel Kaluuya. Just a wonderful film written and directed by Jordan Peele. Great, great movie. Us followed up from it. The modern It movies are entertaining. These movies are more, I laughed at these movies more than I was scared of these movies. They're good films. It's a good horror movie, but it doesn't really scare me as much as it just makes me laugh. I really enjoy these modern It movies. Pennywise. This is a nice film starring Natalie Portman and Oscar Isaac, Annihilation, from the director of Ex Machina. It's a mind-blowing experience. It's a really good movie. It's pretty solid. If you haven't checked it out, I would recommend checking out Annihilation. It's a pretty decent film. The First Purge, again, another one of those cheesy Purge movies. None of them, like I said, none of them are great films by any stretch of the imagination, but they're just guilty pleasures, just popcorn entertainment, nice watches. Enjoy them. This, however, is a great film that I really enjoyed. A Quiet Place. Emily Blunt, John Krasinski. It is a masterpiece, and it is so good. If they hear you, they hunt you. Just fantastic. So, so good. Got a sequel recently. Rob Zombie's 3 from Hell. This movie is just that. This is the unrated cut, and it's 3 from Hell. It's from hell. It's crazy. The modern Halloween movies. This is the 2018 Halloween movie. Pretty good. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this film. It's decent. It's solid. Is it great? No, but it's a decent Halloween flick. So enjoyed that. So I'm going to move this stack over here, and we're going to get to the movie that is up on this menu that I'm going to try to keep up here before it blanks out on me again. And it is Jordan Peele's Us, the follow-up to Get Out. Says in the back, the tagline, the best horror film of all time. That is a bit of a stretch. It is a good horror movie, but I wouldn't quite say it's the best horror movie of all time, but it is really good. Starring Lupita Nyong'o, really good. Octavia Spencer stars in Ma. She's chilling in this movie. It is a good movie, and this from the producers of Get Out and Halloween. So I definitely recommend this. I really like Octavia Spencer's character in this movie. She's whacked out, but she does a great job with that role. Great job. It Chapter 2. Nice. It says here, a truly epic conclusion to one of the greatest horror stories in cinema history. It's a nice sequel. Really enjoyed it. This movie was a pleasant surprise for me and a wonderful follow-up to The Shining, and I think a great expansion of the Shining universe, and it is Dr. Sleep. This is so good. This stars Ewan McGregor, Rebecca Ferguson, and Kylie Curran as the little girl. They all do a great job in their roles, but this is a fantastic film. It expands upon the story of The Shining, and it really gets into what is Shining, and it sort of shows things that the original movie did not show. It's just really good. I really enjoyed this film. Highly recommend it. If you're a fan of The Shining, I think you will appreciate Dr. Sleep. So it has some nice callbacks to the original film that I think you'll appreciate. I hope you'll appreciate it, but I definitely liked it. The follow-up to Split and Unbreakable, Glass. I was disappointed with this, to be honest with you. This is M. Night Shyamalan. James McAvoy comes back from his role in Split. If you, of course, have Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson reprising their roles from Unbreakable in this film that was okay, but I was very disappointed in this film, Glass. But let me know what you think in the comment section of that film. I saw this film on streaming during the pandemic, and it is Invisible Man, starring Elizabeth Moss, the star of The Handmaid's Tale, which I have not ever seen. But let me know if you would recommend that I watch The Handmaid's Tale. But this is The Invisible Man. Pretty decent horror movie. Decent. I mean, it was a perfectly fine watch. I enjoyed watching this when I saw it 3 years ago. I picked this up on Blu-ray and really enjoyed this film here. I enjoyed it greatly, picked it up on Blu-ray, and shortly thereafter, it came out on 4K, but I'm sticking with my Blu-ray of Malignant, the James Wan movie. Perfectly fine horror movie. It's not great, but it's a pretty good, solid horror flick that I would recommend. Same with Scream. Decent horror movie. Not great, but it's a decent film. So I enjoyed this modern Scream movie. Quiet Place Part 2. Nice follow-up to the first Quiet Place movie, and definitely has me looking forward to the conclusion, the last or part 3 of this series, which will come out at some point. I don't know the timing, but really good movie. Emily Blunt and John Krasinski again in A Quiet Place Part 2. Also has Cillian Murphy in this. M. Night Shyamalan's Old, decent horror movie. Not great, not his best film by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a decent film that I would mildly recommend if you're an M. Night Shyamalan fan. All right, another one of these guilty pleasure purge movies right here. This is The Forever Purge. This says one of the best purge movies yet. I mean, it's fine. They're all kind of in that okay category, entertaining films, guilty pleasure type films. So I would definitely recommend The Forever Purge if you're into the Purge series and just want something, in that particular genre or that particular subgenre of horror films, The Purge. This is a really good movie. The Watcher stars Micah Monroe from It Follows. Really enjoyed this movie here. This is a good one that I can definitely strongly recommend. But it has Micah Monroe, Carl Glusman, Bern Gorman. Evil Wants to Be Seen. Watcher. Definitely recommend this one. Halloween Kills was okay. Not great. It's just serviceable. It was perfectly fine, but nothing to write home about. I still have not seen Halloween Ends, but let me know in the comment section what you think about Halloween from 2018, this movie, Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends, what you think about that recent trilogy. Let me know in the comment section your feelings on the recent Halloween movies. All right, Jordan Peele gave us Get Out, he gave us Us, then he gave us Nope. This movie is wonderful. I saw this last year. It came out last year. This is one of my most anticipated films of last year. Actually, my most anticipated film of last year was this movie, and it didn't disappoint. I really enjoyed this film. It stars Daniel Kaluuya, Keke Palmer, and Steven Yeun in a really nice horror movie. Nope. You won't be able to look away, it says. I think it was shot beautifully. Those night scenes and just looks so nice. And the way they shot those scenes, just beautiful. And it's a really nice horror movie from Mr. Jordan Peele, a nice follow-up to Get Out and Us. I'll put these two together. X and Pearl, really good movie. I've only seen the first few minutes of this one here, and I'm looking forward to seeing, I believe it's called Maxine, the third part, when it comes out. I'm not sure when that's coming out, whether it's coming out in 2024 or after, but this is a really good movie that I really enjoyed, and I'm looking forward to finishing this film and then getting around to seeing Maxine when it comes to theaters. So looking forward to checking that out. 2 more to go. Last Night in Soho. Really good movie. Was blown away by this film. Beautifully shot. You have Thomasin McKenzie in this and Anya Taylor-Joy. Really good movie. Thought this was a very, very fine movie. Solid horror film. And the last one that I have in my contemporary horror movie collection, my most recent film in my collection, or recently released movie in my contemporary horror movie collection, is Scream 6. And I mentioned this, I think, on Instagram, that after watching this, it was decent. It was okay. It was not anything to write home about. In fact, after seeing this movie and seeing the Scream movie that preceded it, I'm really in that space now where I'm feeling like I've seen enough of the Scream franchise. You know, I've had the original Scream. I have Scream 2. I have these recent Scream movies that have come out. And I think I'm screamed out. I think I've seen enough of the Scream movies. It's gotten to be a bit formulaic for me at this point. And it was entertaining for what it was during it, based on what I've seen, but I've seen enough of them and I'm kind of ready to move on from it. So if they make other Scream movies, it's pretty likely I'm going to kind of give it a pass, but we'll see. We shall see. But this was a decent movie. It wasn't great. They took us to a different setting. They did a few different things with it, but it's still it didn't really blow me away. And I could kind of see things coming from a mile away. It's gotten to be a little bit predictable. Okay. So wasn't really my cup of tea, but it, was decent. And if you're a huge fan of the Scream series, you're definitely going to want to check this out. But, it definitely wasn't one of my favorite films that I've seen this year, but it was decent. Scream 6. So yeah, there you have it. These are my contemporary horror titles that I have in my collection, or my modern horror films. So these are films that came out in the 21st century, so 2001 and forward. These are the horror films in my collection that fall in that space. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you think about these movies? What are some of your favorite horror films that have come out since 2001 up to present day? What are some of your favorite contemporary horror movies? Let me know that in the comment section. What are some horror titles you would recommend watching during this 31 days of horror? And what are some horror titles that you're looking forward to seeing in the theaters and picking up on physical media? Let me know all that goodness in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time at the movies. Peace.